Okay, hi everybody, I'm Brian. Welcome to my photo show. Today's topic, the Achilles heel that no one is talking about. If you have a 35mm f2 autofocus Nikkor, that is a first generation autofocus Nikkor, you need to watch this video, you need to pay attention. This lens has an Achilles heel. It tends to develop oil on the aperture blades. That's the bad news. If you have one of these lenses and it sits on a shelf like this over a period of years, it will almost invariably develop oil on the aperture blades. The good news is there is a very simple workaround. That is, when you store your 35mm f2 autofocus Nikon lens, store it upside down. That's it. That's all it takes. That is all that is necessary to avoid oil on the aperture blades. How do I know this? Well, some years ago, there was a rumor floating around the internet, which I believed foolishly because the internet was new back then, right? So, it must be right, it must be true, which said that when Nikon produced the D version of this lens, you see this one says 35 f2D. This one simply says 35 f2. This one here is a first generation autofocus lens. This is a first and a half generation, maybe, I don't know. The D stands for distance. The lens feeds some information into the camera having to do with subject distance, which supposedly helps your flash metering or something. The general consensus is the D really does nothing. It's of very, very minor significance and doesn't do much. If you're buying autofocus lenses from this era, you can ignore the D. It's really, in most lenses, it's virtually not worth paying extra for, put it that way. So there was a rumor floating around that the aperture, the oil on the blades issue, which was common to this lens, was fixed by Nikon when they introduced the D version. So I saw that and I thought, well, that makes sense. It's a known flaw. Nikon fixed it when they issued the new D version. That's great. What an awesome thing. So here's what I did. These two lenses have been stored on the same shelf, side by side, for years. This one has been stored upside down. This one has not, because I thought the problem was fixed. Guess what? The problem wasn't fixed. Let's take a look. Why don't I show you? So hold on a second. Let me get this thing focused in so you can see what I'm talking about. There we go. Okay. You see that? You see those aperture blades? You see that? I'm opening it. All right. They're supposed to snap back nice and fast. The reason they're not snapping back is because, I don't know how well you can see that on the video, there is oil on these aperture blades. I think you can see some of that. Okay. So there's oil on those blades. The other lens, which was stored upside down, did not develop oil on the aperture blades. Okay, this is what the aperture blades are supposed to do. Okay, where is it? Here we go. Shoot. Doggone it. Here it is. Right there. All right, excuse me. So here's what the aperture blades are supposed to do. See that? That's what your aperture, that's a nice snappy, what they call a snappy aperture, okay? That's what it's supposed to look like. But that's not what this one looks like. Because, like a fool, I believed what somebody said on the internet, so I did not bother to protect this lens by simply doing that. The 35mm f2 AF Nikkor is a phenomenal lens. It is very popular, very well regarded, sharp, minimal distortion, great color rendition, wonderful tonal gradation, aka micro contrast. Thanks, Ken. If you have an autofocus Nikon camera, get one. Even if you have a manual focus Nikon camera, get one because it has a physical aperture dial or physical aperture ring, so it will mount and meter properly on Nikon AI series manual cameras or 35mm cameras. But beware. Just be aware of the fact that this lens has a fatal flaw, and if you do not store it upside down like this, it will develop oil on the blades like this. Okay. All right. I hope you found this video informative, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.